Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Wars are expensive. Total wars are totally expensive. Therefore, if you would like to, then you can support my armies and cities via coffee or directly through PayPal. Links are in the description below. Other than a one-time donation, those entering the monthly membership tiers can have my heaven shaker armies named after themselves and watch with pride as they blaze their way to glory. For the city builder in you, whole cities can be named after you, which will last the test of time herself. Thanks in advance for any and all support. Now, on with the show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have got a very important attack coming in. So, as always, right now it's going to be muscle memory for us. We are going to close off the nearest gates. We are going to get out of the primal eye, and we are going to enjoy Gorkal taking some pot shots at the enemy. Look at them, they are all bunched up near the river, so they are trying to swim, and that just gives us a tremendous opportunity because also that is also troublesome for us. So for example, this person over here is probably dead, but while you're in the water you don't register as dead. As soon as you get out of the water you die. So the shots which are being put on that dead person could have been better utilized, and that's not happening. So of course that has got a bit of issue, but we have got an excellent command of the situation. We have, I think, carried the day probably. Let's go in and have a look. Yeah, we have carried the day. So there they go, they are running away and we are chasing after them. So let's have a look. Yeah, look at our boys just go after them. They are just done and with complete bloodlust, but I have harvesting to do. So let's turn off the alarm, and that would allow us to go ahead and take control of the situation. Let's get back at the colony. We are going to get our entire morale back because we did an excellent attack, and I think we lost one person. Let's open all the gates. And in this episode, my main goal is going to be unentangling our entire supply chain. So we gave orders for some fish traps. Those need to go away. So I know I put those orders myself. However, I don't think that is a strategic choice. We have more than enough money to buy whatever we so wish. What we can't buy, of course, is time. So what we need to do is make sure that our time is utilized the most efficiently. So here we have got straddle granaries which are already filling up. There we go. So you can clearly see how clogged up our supply chain is, because these are the granaries which are nearest to the crops. However, they are filled up. So they would have to walk all the way to the back straddle granaries or to these middle straddle granaries, and they are also filling up quite rapidly. This is the only one which we have which is currently free. So let's go ahead and build some extra straddle granaries. And I'm going to do so over here. Generally, I keep this area for the what do you call them? Bloomeries. However, I think it's far better to utilize these for storage so that we don't have to walk a long way to go to storage. That is another little bit of unentangling that we are going to do. We should not forget our defenses, so let's go ahead and put our defenses in. Because if we don't have defenses, then we have deaths, and that's exactly what I'm not in the business of doing. Yeah, that's all I can put in. Next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to stop with the bronze. That's it. Enough of copper. Let's bring it down to 0. Let's bring our tin back to 0. Let's say our bronze production is now also going to go to 0. All that we are going to do is finish the backlog of whatever needs to be produced. So those are sickles and knives need to be produced. So I'm going to give some orders for some sickles and not picks, some knives to be produced, and I want to produce 36 of them. Some swords are also being required. So these are the only metal smiths that we are going to leave running, and we are going to break up the other metal smiths. So we have 5 metal smiths over here and 3 over here. These 3 are going to continue pumping up finishing up the bronze that we have. We have 36 bronze, as you can see, and we're going to upgrade these to the iron. Our harvest is continuing. We're a bit over 150%, so I'm going to stop the upgrade momentarily. So let the winter hit, and that's when I want to go ahead and do that, so that we are efficiently harvesting, getting that done. So it's back under 150% and dropping, and we have quite a lot of things to do in terms of picking up all the harvest. We are overproducing, but that was always the claim. As I said, I am a loot goblin. I am a min-maxer. I enjoy these pixels. I enjoy looking at these beautiful pixels. Look at our food. Look at this curve just shoot up. And we are not even harvesting fruit. So you can clearly understand that this is at this point just a lot of enjoyment getting these large numbers. We have gotten all the flax in the far end. This last bit of rye that we always have trouble with getting that harvested, so that we don't need to worry about. Now, another bit of unentangling that I need to do is I need to remove this particular farm and this particular farm, because they are so this further away farm we could not finish planting or harvesting, right? So that is a problematic farm, so let's forget about this one. We have enough food, and I don't want this particular farm because it's on uneven territory, so I don't get a 5 by 5. So if I have a particular 5 by 1, so suppose we over here have a clear 5 by 1 field, so right there, this line, then I will start plowing and I will go all the way to the end with the plow. Let's do the bell 1 second. But when you look at the top part of the farm, which is say this one, then there are only 3. So I go and pick up a plow, come all the way here, plant 3, and then go away. That's inefficient. We are not in the business of inefficiency. And it's further worsened if you actually have fewer than 3. If you have just 1 or something. Let's ring the bell again. Some people are being stupid. For example, Goran, who was already super hungry, decided to go out for a job. Now, what am I going to do with this empty space that I have put over here? I'm going to do something really interesting. We have, if I press the stats button, so that's R, pretty good stats, as you can see. We have 32 sledges, 55 carts, and 32 plows, which is good, I think, because we have got probably a little underproduced, so we might need to build more plows and more carts, but we will get to that. We are just unentangling. Now, we have transposts all across the walls of the colony. all across the walls. And these hold sleds, they hold carts, and they also hold the plows. Now, we don't have enough of them. And therefore, what happens is somebody, if they are going and doing, say they are cutting down a particular tree, they just leave their transpose there. So that could be anywhere on the map. And now you have somebody, and anybody can pick up anybody's cart or, these transportatory vehicles. And therefore, they would have to go clear across the map to go ahead and pick those that cart up and then do their job. We don't want that. We want to create a central area for this whole thing. So that I'm going to start over here. That's why I got rid of that farm. As close as possible to this rock and to our wall, we are going to start putting down a very concentrated amount of transposts. It is going to take a little bit of building because they require wood and they require sticks. Wood, as we know, is a tremendously important resource of ours, but we are going to still insist upon this being built. So I want to close spec, so let me just get rid of that one and transport. As you can see, we have already started building these transposts. Because our workload is 148, we are going to try to reduce it even further. Even further. All of this needs to go down, way down. We are going to slowly take control of this whole situation. We have got milk which is going bad. That is something that I also wish to address. So on and so forth. First, let's make a resting place for all of our transposts. All of them need to be consolidated in one place. And I am going to also put down wells as close as possible over here. Yes, so that our animals can, so that our people can go ahead and pick up water from them. Harvest, whenever you harvest and whenever you go ahead and plant, that is a very thirst-inducing thing. So that's why you want to have wells. Now I put this well down over here, and a very intelligent Redditor said, hey, why are you putting down a well next to the river? They actually prefer to have water from wells and stored water. They prefer that. And I don't know, but it might be also giving them better health. Therefore, we would like to have wells around. Also, another effect of wells is that they serve as early warning systems for your colony. So you, if there is a well and some guy is drinking from it, say one person is filling water or drinking from it, if a raider attack comes and he can see that or he's near that, then I get a warning. So try to surround your colony with wells. Therefore, they can act as an early warning system, and therefore you get a few precious seconds in which to quickly ask people to move around or get back to the colony, so on and so forth. However, that has got another problem, that they do break those wells down. So you would have to build them again. So that's why I don't need a well over here per se. However, I want an early warning system over here. And I want an early warning system over here. And another one if in case they are coming across right here. So I'm going to build a well on real solid granite. And that is possible. Only thing which you can't do is that you can't build wells very close to each other. They have to be 10 tiles apart at least from each other. I'm not going to build wells on this side because I do have the river protecting me. And therefore, that gives me a lot of early warning. Let's go up to speed 4. You can see our workload has come down to 66%. We have plenty of iron, and therefore what we need to do is, we have to upgrade these guys. And I'm not going to wait for all that bronze to be used up. I am going to transition completely to the Iron Age because I've had it up to my neck going to the copper mine, getting copper, going to the tin mine, getting copper, bringing both of these two things together, and then making bronze, then making a tool out of it. However, what I can just now do is go to iron mine, get it back, smelt it immediately, put it into a tool, and get it done with. We have 81, 82, 83 iron. So let's reduce a little bit. Let's say we want 50 iron and 50 steel is more than enough. We have plenty of our, we have plenty of tools. Let's reduce the mud collected to 50. Charcoal, let's keep at a 50. That's fine. Iron, we keep at 50. We are not going to increase our tools limit. It is tempting to do so, but I'm going to actually bring down the number of axes required to 20% of adults because I get free axes given to me courtesy of the raiders. So that is how I also use the system against the AI. We are pushing 1630, and this particular season was excellent for us that we got a lot of rest done. So people could rest a little bit, they could procreate, which is very important. And we are slowly going to 237 population. As you remember, the high point of the Ozymandian Kingdom up to now was 237. So something since then has been going wrong that we are not able to cross it, but we are going to go ahead and do that. And it's things like this that we are getting a lot of wolf attacks. We lost 2 people while we are talking to wolves, which is a tremendous tragedy. Let's look at our tree cutting areas. So press G. So I have it hotkeyed to G. And let's move all of these tree cutting areas forward. So we don't need to go further and further away. We have a great amount of trees quite nearby. Let's go ahead and collect all of these trees. I see we already have a tree cutting area here. So I'm going to move this over here, which is upcoming. Not enough trees. Let's go clear across the colony. So let me go to speed 1. This is our beautiful colony. Let's go clear across and to this very nice clump of trees, and let's plant another tree cutting area over here. Because trees are non-negotiable, we really require a tremendous amount of them. Let's look at the next one. This is the tree area that we are cutting. Let's move it to this one over here. It's on the same side of the river. Remember, always the same side of the river should always be your first priority, followed by the one which is across the river. So this is pretty far away. You can see the colony in the distance. Let's move it nearer. Let's get these trees over here. We are at 118% workload in the middle of harvesting. So that is telling me that we are doing a great job. We have got plenty of everything, I think, at this point. And what we can now go ahead and do is we can start giving orders to the blacksmiths. So these are the Iron Age blacksmiths. We are now fully transitioned to the Iron Age. Therefore, I am going to finally get rid of these furnaces and make them into bloomeries so that I don't have any requirement or any tasks to do anything to do with bronze. No more bronze. We are done with that. It's a good resource. I personally like copper much more. Copper for me is very special, and therefore I do like going to the Copper Age. I do enjoy staying at the Copper Age. It's a pity we can't stay at the Copper Age too long, because the Bronze Age really comes around quite quickly. Because remember, we stay in the age previous to the Bronze Age, the maximum amount of time possible. We stay there while we go and get all the knowledge points required for quickly advancing in the copper and bronze and building up our population. Therefore, our Bronze Age is actually doesn't last very long. Blizzard year, so that is of course very dangerous, and I'm going to now go ahead and do a quick check to see if there are any raiders coming in, because I would really not like them to come in this age. Please come anywhere other than this. So let's go ahead and do a scan, and we are also going to scan for our own boys. We will ask them all to quickly run back. So no walking, just please run back. Everybody, okay, they're still not running. So if you double click on the house, sometimes they obey you, so you have to really check. Yeah, there they go, they begin running. Let's go ahead and make another box of these 4 people. Let's run them back, because even if you press the bell, they are pretty thick and they will just do things in their own sweet time, which is not acceptable because we don't want people to die. 3 more people, a lot of more people, so let's go back. And you see that they are crossing over here. That tells me this is a fantastic place to build a bridge, because they would prefer to have a bridge right here. So I am going to give the order for that. Hopefully we don't need to do that right now. A lot of our milk is going bad, although we have got the limit has been set quite high. So let's go ahead and build some cheese makers so that they get busy with that, and therefore we don't lose as much food in terms of wastage. So we have got 4 cheesemakers in all of these 4 corners, and you can see the cheesemaker here is actually quite close to where the animals are. This is where the stables are, and this is where the cheesemaker is, and this is where the straddle granaries are to go ahead and store the food. Let's carefully manage our alarm system so that people keep coming back. I see a lot of reds, and I do see some people heading out, which is, I think, extremely stupid. So I will go slow in this particular season. We have to keep an eye out. Now we are going to push up our leather making just a little bit, say to 50, and that all can happen in this season because we have got lower workloads. Resources going bad. As soon as the merchant is here, I'm going to get rid of all of this extra copper and bronze so that our warehouses get freed up, and which would allow us to go ahead and store fresh and more important items in them. And of course, the goal is going to be to completely get rid of all bronze tools so that we are going to go to entirely iron and steel tools. Our steel age will still be a bit far away. So speak of the devil. The trader is here. Right. So let's get iron. Let's not get anything else. Some iron ore, iron 190. I'm gonna pay you 100 bones in the what do you call this? Oh, look at this. Look at these fish traps. They sell for 20, and these are excellent cash crops. Excellent cash. Look at that. We very quickly went ahead and picked up the bill. The trader didn't have anything very interesting. I would like a greater amount of animals to come in, or if he has other interesting things. Another cool little trick that I'm going to do, or I'm not going to do. I wanted to get rid of the pigs because the pigs are no good, but well, this is the Ozymandian Kingdom, so why not? Look at this guy out there in the complete open. This is absolutely asinine. It's asinine to speak of. Come on, please come back. We are losing a few cattle in terms of starvation, but that is because they are not able to be fed fast enough. So all of these animals which are in the stables, they constantly require hay or grain. But this is a blizzard year, so we have people who are extremely cold, so they will spend a lot of time actually going back and forth because they get cold, and therefore they don't have enough time to feed the animals, creating a little bit of a backlog. Harvesting season is here. I'm going to get rid of these rye over here because I really don't need the food at this point. However, I don't completely remove rye from the equation and I keep some because, as I said in the farming commandments, all the way back in chapter 11, that you want to have everything, each one of the cereals actually planted, including einkorn. So here we lost somebody because they were out in the open. I'm not going to ring the bell. I'm going to just keep an eye on this raider party which is coming in because we have got plenty of time before they come in. So let's make sure nobody is going towards that direction. So what you want to do is, in these cases, they are actually continuing work because that party is far away. So that's what wells do for you. So if I had a well over here, then I would have been able to see that party because I get line of sight or I get an early warning. So as soon as you see somebody is actually going towards that particular party of raiders, you want to pull them back. You want to pull them back. But while the attack is not nearby, there is no point ringing the bell. The trader is here, so I'm going to buy quite a lot of stuff from him because he has got something interesting this time. The bill is 468. I'm going to pay with my copper. And while you are in this trading screen, the game is frozen, so they are not able to progress. They are not able to come near you. I'm going to get rid of some of this linen and flax that I have. However, now let's check. Still a little bit. Let's go back, come on. And now I think it's time to ring the bell, because I will require to close these gates so they can go around. Everybody is going to come in and we are going to enjoy the show. And we have got Carrion, who's a very brave woman. Let's go to her point of view. And here goes our outgoing fire. Here comes the tremendous host of enemies. We have repaired the walls and they are coming in and they're getting shot at. They have split up. Some people are trying to cross, and that gives us a great opportunity that they are splitting up. That gives me more time to fire. This side is really very difficult for the raiders to get in from, because we have got towers, we have got reinforced platforms, we have got a very large river which acts like a moat. Carrion is going for a stroll, so I'm going to get out of her line of view. Probably her weapon broke. We have got some people who got in, and let's check if I can zoom into this guy. So here there is somebody who's running out of range. They are running for their lives. They're running as fast as their legs can carry them. And we carry the day. So let's turn off the alarm. Continue to work. There we go. And of course, we do expect this particular part to constantly break. However, 3 stones are all that is required to go ahead and repair this. And we didn't lose any reinforced platforms. One of them got damaged a little bit, but we are going to be able to get that fixed real quick. We have 4 people joining. That's fantastic. We are at 152% workload. I'm going to get rid of this particular set of flex farming because that's pretty far away. We don't need the flax per se. And let's get rid of these things. Oops, didn't want to do that. I Yeah, it's difficult yeah, so this is what I was talking about. You see, there are two over here. Then you go and plant one, then it goes away, and then the next guy comes and tries to plant. So that's all time wasted. We don't want to do that. So it's good to get rid of this thing entirely. We've got more than enough linen. We have 138. We have built up all of this extra transposts, which tells me that I have now enough places to store them because they are empty. So we have got our yeah, it's good to have a look once the planting season is done, because then they will return their plows, and if you see that there are empty spaces, that tells you that hey, you do have enough transports. There are no other sleds and so on and so forth spread across the world. Now we are at 74% workload. Perfect. Let's look at our limit for sleds. So we have given a limit to make 130 sleds, and I'm pretty sure we don't have that. We have 35, so we are 100 short. And that is all being held up by the massive amount of leather shortage that I have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give a tremendous order for sleds, because then they are going to actually go ahead and build these sleds instead of going ahead and building one at a time. And this is something tyrannical, and this is something I actually quite enjoy doing. And once that limit is filled up, we will be then able to go ahead and reduce the amount of sleds, because sleds last quite a lot of time. And in the very last one, I am going to give also an order for a few carts. And the rest is going to be sleds. Trader is here. He's got horses. Let's buy horses because we have money. There is no shortage of money. Copper, no, sorry. Iron ore, 551. Let's pay with bones and dry skins. Let's pay with a bit of linen. We have a tremendous overload of that. Let's give them some bronze sword, which we constantly scull from the enemy. So these are essentially free resources. And that's something which is better to give away, free things. And get out of here. Let's check our limits for mail armor is set to be at 169. We have got 181, so we are good in terms of leather, in terms of armor. Every adult is armored up. And we are now going and starting to make a lot of iron sickles and a lot of iron knives. Let's go ahead and give the orders. Oh yeah, all of them have got orders. Always make sure you check for that, because if you don't place these auto build, then nobody is going to build anything. Now you clearly saw our sticks fall a tremendous amount because we went ahead and put it into building sleds. We are at 81% workload, which is fantastic, I think. So these spots right in the middle are going to be for our religious buildings. I'm not going to do that in this episode because we do require time before we invest into that. And we still have all of these towers which require upgrading. We do have some towers which need to be built, because we have got some of them have been broken down. So let's go ahead and give orders for towers to be built. You can actually put towers in each and every empty space. However, putting a tower very far behind, so for example, if a tower fits say here, if a tower does fit here, there is no point putting a tower over here, because it's going to be not in the range of where the raiders are, and therefore you won't be, so people will go and hide in them, and they will not be present at the critical areas where you actually require them to be firing from. So don't have towers too far out or too far in. You want to protect towers the way we do, that we have got transposts, then we have walls, then we have got the house, then we have got the tower. So we have protected our towers by the virtue of keeping them far behind. So there you can see, if the raider is over here, he has got to aim at the tower over here, but he's already getting under fire from these platforms. Any person who's standing over here, the towers are going to be firing. He's going to get stuck in all of these transposts. That's why I built the transpost over here, to just basically slow them out. They are built in 3 rows, so if they split up, if they decide to split up, that's fantastic. Now you see, given that we are controlling our workload, that this is peak harvesting season, and we have just got 110% workload. So that is all going to go into baby making. It's going to go into making leather. It's going to go into making whatever we need to, so that we can strengthen our colony. We have just a nominal amount of copper left. I'm going to go ahead and check if I have any unupgraded blacksmiths. So anything which makes copper, I don't think so. They are all upgraded to the real thing, and that's where we want to be. We are going to go transition into iron. You can clearly see that we are getting, oh, this will be fantastic. So we got another milestone. Of course, I have earned all the milestones. And this is for advanced defense, which we got in. No sweat off our back. The Ozymandian Kingdom continues to prosper. We have got beer being made over here. What I can do is increase the amount of beer so that I can recover morale quicker. So I can fit a granary over here somewhere. Can I? Right here? Let's see. I'll put it over here. I'm not sure if it'll work. Let's see. This is where the cairn is going to go. Yeah, so it's not going to fit. So let's get rid of this particular granary. And we're going to move the granary a little bit closer, because I want to have a granary over here, because the beer requires grain, and grain is stored in the granary. Does it look pretty? Why not? Yeah, it's symmetrical. It's right between both of these. Yeah, it's symmetrical. It would be more symmetrical if I could put one over here. Can't do that. So I don't worry about it. The cheese is growing because we built up these extra cheese farms, cheese farms. So this is what the cheese maker is. It has got these perforated pots because you put in to get it the moisture out. And somebody is already making cheese. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Cheese is being made. Let's go enjoy that at speed 4. And our metallurgy is continuing. You light a fire, and that's how they make cheese. And we are going to secure our food supply, because more milk which gets transformed into cheese lasts longer. It lasts a year. Milk on the outside lasts only a quarter of a year. Inside granaries, of course, and straddle granaries, it does last longer. However, we are going to get far higher storage of food by converting it into cheese. Wolf attack. Wolf attacks are the only things which are going to bother us at this stage. Let's ring the bell. I'm going to not harvest this wolf because, yeah, I don't need the meat. I don't need anything from it of value. Let's move this particular tree cutting area. You have to constantly move your tree cutting areas. We have built 250 composite bows. That's fantastic. This is not a blizzard year. However, you still want to make sure that you do ring the bell from time to time. Initially, when I was learning the game, I would not store raw meat and raw fish in the granaries because I wanted them to be put on the first man architecture so that they go ahead and convert them into dried meat. But that's not a good idea because anything which is in a straddle granary will last 3 times longer. So if you uncheck all of the straddle granaries from storing raw food, namely meat and fish, then they're going to store it in the houses. And that's going to be tremendously bad because, houses, let's go and have a look. Houses store things only 2.5 times longer. So the raw meat is not going to last as long. I would even rather have it lying in a straddle granary than in the open or in some house where I don't have any control over it. We have survived the winter, planting season is here, and probably a raid will also come in. So let's go to the primal eye, do a little bit of a scan. I don't see anybody yet. Trader is here, let's get rid of a few things. Storm is also here. Some food, some peas, some, leather, very, very important. I'm very happy that came through. And we're going to pay in bones. And I'm going to pay in bronze. Let me get rid of the bronze itself, the item, because I have no use for it anymore. We have gone into the Iron Age. Here comes the storm, but we are planting, and we are planting with plows, so we don't lose morale. Let's check our... you see how efficient this is. All those sleds have been built up. So this is why you want to manually give the orders for sleds to be built up. Else they are not going to go and build up their sled collection. So now I'm going to bring the number of sleds I require to 50%, to just 50 because I have 56. So let's stop making sleds. We are going to go to carts very soon. And therefore we don't require as many sleds. It's far better to use carts for their morale than to use sleds. Bunch of our milk is going bad, bunch of our food is going bad because we have crossed 1800 food. We are soon going to cross 2000 food. So here goes the harvesting. Of course, we have reduced our farming potential quite a lot. We have gotten rid of 2.5 fields of grain. I've promised to show you guys, yeah, there we go. Oops. Let's go in and watch a watermill in action. Oh, they ran out. The watermill, okay, they ran out. Okay, we have to wait for the next turn. They use a watermill. I will try to give you guys a look at the watermill being used because that's pretty interesting. Do we have somebody here? Hello? Anybody using the watermills? No? We have 5 watermills, more than enough. I'll ring the bell once because I see a few people who are hungry. And why do we have so much milk is because we have 100 heads of cows. South Sudan, if they looked at our cows, they would be drooling. So South Sudan, they're mainly pastoralists. Very difficult place in the world. And therefore, they have a lot of cows which require a lot of fighting over. And then the development is therefore arrested because of all of this fighting. And therefore, the cows are also pretty scrawny, don't give as much milk. But look at our beautiful cows over here. They're 10 times bigger than the South Sudanese cows. And we have got 100 of those. That's fantastic. Now, 92% workload for summer, and we have got 77 raw skin, and we have got 70 or 10 in. So we would be able to build quite a lot of so let's cancel these sleds because we have gone over 50. Let's build in carts because I'm pretty sure we have extra animals whom we are going to be able to hitch onto these carts for getting into the business of moving heavy things around. Let's get rid of all of these sleds. We have got 5 workshops in the whole colony, and that's more than enough. We have got a bunch of cows over here, so they can be hitched onto the carts. So that's why what I do is I left click and I tell them all the horses to go and work on getting hitched to carts. Let's build up our plow collection also, because we have got wood, we have got sticks, we have got a bunch of flex which requires processing, else it'll just go bad. Let's get some plows done so that cows can go ahead and get hitched to them, and a lot of horses which we also have freed up right now, they can be utilized. I'm going to buy up linen clothes because yeah, I got really tired of listening to that alarm bell, and I'm going to give away the last of my copper. I'm going to give away the last of my bronze. Oh, beautiful. And 2 bones. One more. Get out of here. So this is what we are doing in this episode. We are untangling the mess. Let's check our warehouses. Let's check that all of them are not required, so that none of them are. Yeah, so here you see this guy was storing food, so you want to unclick food because you want food to only grow in straddle granaries. This was having food in it. That often happens because I build them up piecemeal and then I forget to upgrade. We have got plenty of warehouses to store our items, and they are strategically placed all across. There are 4 along the main central axis. There are 4 on the 4 corners. A bunch of bear attacks going on. I don't care about that too much. Let's check for our ancestors. Are we burying them properly? Do we have spaces? Yeah, little bit. Maybe I can build a few more. So I'm gonna cut off these trees and let's check where the attack is coming from. Oh, it's pretty close. So let's go ahead and ring the bell. This is fantastic. This came in just before the harvest season, and therefore we are going to go into the harvest season on full morale. I'm going to go to the outlook of the raiders. Let's see what they see. Here they come through the beautiful flex or linen fields. There you can see the attacks are going in. Their brothers are already getting shot at, while this guy is walking in very leisurely. He's begun to run now. They have a stamina bar and a health bar, and they are all concentrating in one place, so that's a bit worrisome. But I'm pretty sure we are going to carry the day. There is no way that they are going to win over here. One raider got hit. The guy we were following has now also been hit. He's lying down dead over here. Last of his compatriots are trying to break down the wall, and they are getting completely shot to pieces from our towers and our platforms. There we go. Celebration in the Ozymandian Kingdom. I don't think we lost a single person. This was a perspective from the enemy's perspective, and that I think is also pretty interesting. So we are now going to go back and drop off all of this iron mail and then go immediately into farming. They broke down 4 pieces of stone walls, so that tells me it's time to upgrade the towers, but I'll wait because I don't have wood. I don't have enough wood. So I'm going to give some orders. I'm going to collect up some trees which are very nearby, which are not fruit trees, for cutting down. And I'm going to do that from the nearest outward, so that this game is a bit frustrating at times. So I'm going to go for the trees which are nearest to us. Common sense that we have less walk distances. I think a save is coming in. Yes. Oh, our clicks all went away. So I have to select those trees again. This game. I don't blame the game. I think it's a bit to do with the developers. I think they're brilliant people. They made two great games for a company of two people. That I think is great. But they have this ability of catching thunder in a bottle and basically doing nothing with it. So they have given up on this game, which I think is a bad idea. And I think it's a selfish idea because, yeah, the game is, I think, complete. And if they are continuing to develop it to all no ends, listening to strangers on the internet, then the company will also neither not go anywhere. So, but from a consumer perspective, I would have liked this game to progress, give it a more meaningful end game, which we don't have currently. Because the end game is of course very subjective. You only decide when you have had enough and decide to stop gaming, and there is no danger once you are done in the early game. So in the early game, every game is of course very difficult, whichever game you're playing, but it gives a lot more joy when there are dangers which are also there much later. And that is what a good game is. So for example, Attila Total War, there is never a phase where you're completely secure. In Banished, for example, you are never quite secure. Anything can happen and your whole colony can just die off. You can never relax. No matter what you have prepared for, no matter what you have done, the AI will pull a fast one on you and there is nothing you can do about it. Which, of course, you can complain because it's a democracy after all. People do want their satisfaction. And yeah, this game could have been a bit harder towards the end, but it gets so much easier that we are basically left rubbing our chins as to what to do. Let's get rid of these trees because I do want to build up some wood, and therefore I would be able to go ahead and build some platforms. I'll check for all the platforms to be first class. They have to be all up to notch to be reinforced platforms because that's what we want. We want to do it in a very systematic fashion. That's what this episode is, entering the Iron Age in all its glory. We have gone to all iron tools almost. We have to get rid of the old ones, and then we are going to go to the Steel Age. Even we can do that right now, but I'm not in the business of right now. I'm in the business of making a strong colony. We have some empty spaces over here. So if you wish, you can put straddle granaries. You can put extra bloomeries in case you are struggling with the iron output. But be careful that bloomeries also require leather, and you have a lot of requirement for leather. So for example, right now, we ran out of tannin. So I'm going to push up our tannin collection to 150%. So basically that's 350 tannin, which is infinite tannin. And what that is doing for us is that not having tannin stops us from having leather. And it blocks up this particular work right here. So this tanner is going to keep on asking me to make a piece of leather. But I can't because I have got raw skin, but I don't have the accompanying tannin. And the trader is of course a complete jerk. He is not going to bring you tannin. Trust me. Let's wager. I don't think the next guy who is going to come in is going to bring you tannin. It's not going to happen. I see a few carts which are some plows which haven't got somebody pulling them. So I'm going to pull. I'm going to reset, so that they can again go and do a reroll and pick up all these cards. Trader is here. Let's check. There we go. No tannin. I told you. Guy is never gonna bring you anything you require. Anything that you require is the thing that is not going to be present when he comes along. Write it down, keep it in a purse. So we have, since we did this little stunt of unselecting the plows in winter season, they went inside there into the stables. This was pretty foolish of me, because now they're sitting in the stables and getting fed. Okay, so yeah, let's check our grave yards. I do see a lot of burial mounds still empty, so I won't build anymore. We built up a bit of wood and bit of branches, so let's check our. Okay, so everything is reinforced over here. I'm gonna build in these. Let's check. Yeah, so this one needs to get upgraded. Let's upgrade. These guys are all reinforced. Workload, work area for stone got eliminated right here. This is a blizzard year. Let's hope there are no raids coming in. I'm checking for all of the platforms and checking if they're all reinforced or not. That's a very important thing to do. They are, so we are good. We're going to keep this at speed 4, so this is going to be max speed. All the plows are going to be pulled by cows, and despite that, if I see that there are some plows which are still sitting empty, then I will give the order for horses to be used to pull plows. Plows and carts, whether you use them or not, they get their durability down. So yeah, it is in your interest to essentially make sure that they are being constantly hitched onto something and getting used for working purposes. Let's press our stats button. We have 48 plows. That's fantastic. I'm going to increase the number of plows to 50. Oh, we are at 50. And we are going to slowly give orders for carts, because we have now got a bunch of tannin in, so we will be able to go ahead and build those carts. If you don't have tannin, there's no point giving those orders, because they are just going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs waiting for permission. Keep getting rid of these bronze items, and every bronze item you sell is going to get exchanged for an iron item which you are going to build. Of course, that is going to take labor away from you, because that will require resources and time, but okay, we are going to do that. A huge stock of cows over here. Should I catch some of these? I don't need it. It's so tempting. As soon as I see cows and I don't catch them, there is a part of me which gets sad, which does want to do that. But of course, I have to make sure that the colony survives. Everything has to go to plan. There is no point catching anymore, because we have 108 cows. We're coming to the close of this episode. So let's recap what we did. We went ahead and got rid of a lot of extra tasks, such as building of compound bows, and we are going to exchange them into building of carts. That was one of the supply chains that we cleared up. Another supply chain, never build a lot of carts, because then you won't have animals, or you won't have the goods necessary to go ahead and utilize them. We increased our tannin collection so that we can go ahead and get all the tannin in the world. Our farming was done in good order, planting was done in good order, so that's fantastic. We increased the number of plows, so that and we made them exclusively to be pulled by cows. That has two functions. One, the bulls are going to go ahead and get out of the system of where I have to feed them. I don't have to feed animals which are hitched onto plows. This is what the Ozymandian Kingdom looks like. Also, another benefit is that the cows which are hitched don't give enough any milk while they're hitched to the plow, and therefore they do not require straw, etc. We also increase the number of straddle granaries. Let's because we have got a tremendous amount of food, so I still have a few straddle granaries which are completely empty, and therefore the food can be stored in them. We have got no not a lot of items lying on the ground, so you can see that in the first man architecture all the food which is here is getting dried. There is no dried food over here waiting to get pulled out of the system and being put into the granaries. So that was another entangling that we did. We are now going to build up a lot of leather so that we can go ahead and make more carts. More carts equals easier life. We made a dedicated area for our transposts so that transposts are not left anywhere in the world and then they are brought all to one place for work. We are going to continue this episode till the next raid comes in, so we have a few moments to enjoy. I was having a little bit of a holiday because we have not got a very good spread of holidays in the Netherlands. All the holidays are just in April and May, and there are no other holidays. The only one after that is in December. So then I was taking a little bit of a time off, and of course, you do require to also regenerate a little bit. I think 3 videos a week for a single person was a bit difficult, so let's calm down, let's enjoy the Ozymandian Kingdom. This is what the Ozymandian Kingdom looks like right now. Look at the spread. We have got a beautiful system. Let's go from one of these burial mounds. This is where our ancestors look down upon us. Look at that. This is screenshot. This is screenshot worthy. This is thumbnail worthy. There we go, screenshot. And this is what the Ozymandian Kingdom is. Bump it up to speed 4. Let's wait for the raid to come in. Hopefully it doesn't kill too many of our people. We have also crossed beyond the high point of 237. We are at 246. Let's try to push it up to 250 in the coming episodes. Since we have done a lot of what do you call this? A lot of streamlining. We are going to go to the steel age in the next episode. So that's not going to happen now. Let's leave it for the next stage, because we will build up a lot of steel quickly, and then we are going to get a lot of steel built. And we are going to transition away from all of this bronze tools that we have lying around. So that's why as this guy is coming in, we are giving him all of our bones and obsolescent items, and we are going to go ahead and give him all of this bronze stuff so that we can have all iron and very soon all steel tools. I don't think we can go all steel because yeah, I'm a bit lazy. I don't want to go into each and every one and then deselect 150 times all the auto building for the iron tools. I might for YouTube. Let's see. I don't do it when I play myself. A beautiful storm is coming in. Let's go ahead and look from the perspective of the burial mound again. What the city looks like. This is where we are. This is the Ozymandian Kingdom. Let's go up to speed 2. Rain is falling. Beautiful rain. This is northern or Celtic prehistoric England. So that's what the system copies. All the houses, etc. are of that age and period. You can see it rains even then. It still rains constantly in England even now. Beautiful thunderclap in the distance that you can see. And we have got a lot of smelting going on, which is just fantastic, which you can see right over here. A bunch of smelting going on. Let's screenshot some more. Raiders are taking their own sweet time, which of course I don't blame them. They are free to do what they wish. Let's bump it up to Suite 4. This is the harvest season. We are at 70% workload. So this is what we have done. You have to actually go ahead and do this a couple of times while you play Dawn of Man. You really have to go in and declog all of these extra things. So for example, here I'm beginning to see that my my carts don't have enough horses to pull them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop plows being pulled by horses so that they go to carts, and then I'm going to make it again so that if there are any extra animals, they can go ahead and hitch themselves onto the carts. Also, I'm going to increase the number of horses to 100 so that I can slowly build up more horses, and therefore we can have more carts. Let's check how many carts we have. We have 86 carts for 100 draft animals. So that's quite nice, I think. And we have 50 plows for 100 heads of cattle, which is going to give us a huge amount of milk, which we are churning into a bunch of cheese. We went ahead and saw cheese maker in action. Nobody is using these water mills when I'm looking at them. They are pretty cheeky. These are cheeky souls like me. I'm not going to upgrade these particular stone, these wooden palisades. However, what I am going to do is build flags as we promised in these holes. What this is going to do is going to preclude anybody from coming into melee contact with your walls. If they can't enter into melee contact, then they shan't be able to do melee contact, and that's what we want to capitalize on. Trader is here, so let me just continue. I don't need anything per se. All I have to do is get rid of stuff, but that can wait. Let's go around the colony. Only places where you won't be able to place them are places like this. But what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and put stone walls right over here so that I can double wall them and get a bit of additional protection. All of this is just to make the lives of the raiders difficult, and that is exactly what is the name of the game. Spiritual flags again. I maintain this clump of rocks over here because I don't need to mine that stone, and therefore I can have one part completely closed. Else I would have to have a gate over here which requires labor to build and can also be broken down. There is no sign of raiders coming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the transmission over here. This has been your captain speaking. Please enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this. Oh my god, I minimized everything. So, oops, yeah. So this has been your captain speaking, and I hope to catch you back for more Dawn of Man. Have a nice evening.
This has been the Strategic Indian signing out.